Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this really cute trifold pocket card, and it just pulls out like this and there's your message. It's pretty easy to do. This one's done in Dijon Delight and Cajun Craze, and Pear Pizzazz for the leaves. And I think it's a really cute card, and the finished size is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and it's super simple to do. So I'm going to show you how to make this today. The Designer Series paper is the In Color Designer Series paper pack. You get I don't know exactly how much comes in the pad, I don't have it memorized, but you get all 5 in colors in different designs, and it's a really cool way to get some paper that matches your ink pads. I'm going to show you how to make this card. So let me set this aside. Today I'm going to be using mint macaron as my color, and I'm also using rose red. Okay, so what you're going to need is, well, let me show you the stamp sets I'm using first. I'm using Awesomely Artistic, and I'm going to be using this flower here. And then I'm going to be using Crazy About You. I'm going to be using this flower along with the coordinating punch. Okay, and then I'm also using the sentiments, thanks so much. Okay, and now let me show you what you need for cardstock, or for paper. You're going to need a piece of Designer Series paper or any pattern paper. This is cut at 4 by 12 inches. Okay, and then you're going to need a piece of coordinating cardstock cut to 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, you're going to need another piece of paper, cardstock cut at 3 1/4 by 3 1/2, and then a piece of Whisper White cut at 3 by 3 1/4. And then you're also going to need a piece of paper about 3 by 3 to stamp your flower on and punch it out. So that's where we're at. And then, oh, and I'm also using Whisper White seam binding ribbon for the little pull tab here. Okay, so, or you could use a piece of cardstock or however you want to do it, but I'm using ribbon. Alright, so first thing we need to do is we need to score our piece of 4 by 12 Designer Series paper. This is the Stampin' Trimmer, and it has a cutting blade as well as a scoring blade. The light gray is the scoring, and the dark gray is the cutting blade. So I'm just moving my cutting blade to the bottom because we're not going to use that right now. We're going to use a scoring blade. And you're going to score this at 4 inches. Okay, so I'll just line it up with the 4-inch mark. Okay, and score. And then flip your paper over and score it at 4 again. Pretty easy, huh? Okay, now I'm going to move the trimmer out of the way. Okay, and I know it's kind of hard to see the score lines on the camera, but they're there, believe me. I'll just fold them so it makes it a little easier. Now, depending on which side you want to be on the outside will depend on how you fold this. But you're just going to take the corner and you're going to fold it on the score line. Okay, so match this corner to the opposite corner of the score line. Just like this. Sorry, it's hard for me to see and not have my head in the camera. Hopefully this will turn out alright. We shall see, right? God, I really can't see this. My eyes are so bad. Alright, so there we have that. I'm just folding it with my finger. You can take your bone folder and make it a little bit crisper if you'd like. Okay. And then you're going to fold this side up right like this. and then crease it with your bone folder. Okay, and then you're gonna open up your flaps, and you're gonna put some adhesive. I hope you're seeing what I'm doing. Let me zoom in a little bit more for you. Adhesive. So I'm just going to use snail adhesive for this project, and you're going to put some adhesive from the score line, maybe. Alright, why isn't this working? Always has to happen in a video, right? Alright, so I'm going to use my big old ATG gun for this. And you're going to put some adhesive right here along the bottom up to the score line, okay? And then you're going to fold your triangle back over so that it's glued down, okay? And then you're going to do the same thing on this side from the score line over, and then fold your triangle back over, okay? And then it doesn't matter if you fold it, you know, the left one in first and then the right. It doesn't matter. Or you could do right and then left, whichever you prefer. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold this over. Well, first you're going to put adhesive along the bottom, right down here at the bottom. You want to get as close to the edge as you possibly can so that it doesn't interfere with your pocket. Okay, fold your first side over so it's glued down. And then you're going to take adhesive on this triangle across the bottom as best you can do it. And then fold that over. Okay? So there you go, you got your pocket now, okay? And I can feel there's some adhesive peeking out here somewhere. Just take my finger and rub it off. There we go. Okay, so there's that. Then you're going to take your 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 piece of cardstock. You're going to turn your pocket over. You're going to put adhesive all over it because you're going to glue it on top of that piece there. So I'm just going to add adhesive to my pocket. And I tend to use a lot of adhesive because I don't want it to fall off. That would kind of suck if you got a card and then it fell apart, right? Okay, and then I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive in the center as well, just to make sure it's going to stick down nice and wonderful. Okay, now you're going to take your pocket and just layer it right on top of your 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and you're going to center it as best you can. That looks pretty good. Okay, now we're going to set that aside for a few minutes and we're going to do some stamping. First we're going to stamp our flower for the outside, and for that I'm going to use rose red. Okay, so we're just going to ink up our stamp really well. And our finger, apparently, because, you know, I have to ink my fingers every time I stamp. Wouldn't be fun if you didn't ink your fingers, right? Okay, so just make sure I have enough ink on there. And then we're just going to stamp it down. Okay. And there you go, you have your image for the outside. Okay, next we're going to bring in our punch and we're going to punch this out. You just want to line it up as best you can with the punch. Right like that. Okay, let me close up my ink pad before I stick my finger in it again. Okay, and then we're going to bring this, our pocket card back in. Okay, sorry about that. My husband came home and he's now in the kitchen running water, so that's what you hear. If you hear it, I don't know. But anyway, so we have our card. We're going to take our flower that we just stamped and punched out, and we're going to put some adhesive just on the bottom portion, and just make sure your adhesive's not over the edges there like mine. Okay, and then you're just going to stick that down right about there. Okay, so looking good so far. 3 by 3 1/4. Okay, and 3-inch mark is going to be the top. Okay, right like that. And then we're going to take our flower stamp here from the Awesomely Artistic stamp set, and I'm going to do this in mint macaron. Now you would probably think to yourself, rose red would look nicer, you know, flowers red, not green. But the reason I'm doing it in mint macaron is because it's lighter, and so you can write over it when you're writing your message to the person that you're giving the card to. So I'm just inking up my stamp. And this whole stamp is not going to go on the card itself. We're going to stamp partially on the paper and partially off. So I'm just going to take my stamp right like this, right about there, stamp down. Okay, that looks pretty nice, huh? And then the next step is just to take our sentiment stamps, the thanks so much, and we're going to stamp that in rose red so it matches the flower on the outside. So we're just going to ink that up real quick, and I have it upside down. Okay, inking my finger again, and we're just going to stamp that right above the flowers, right like that. Okay, so now we're done with our stamping, and we're just going to flip our piece of paper over. We're going to put some adhesive on it, and we're going to layer it on our other piece of mint macaron. Okay, and then again, just make sure your edges of your adhesive isn't hanging over the edges of your paper. Wow, another day of Pat can't talk. I hope you guys learned something from these tutorials I've been doing. I'm trying really hard. Okay, so we're just going to layer this on top of the mint macaron as best we can. We all know that Pat can't layer straight. But do it as best, you know, to the best of your ability, which is what I did. Okay, and then we're going to take a piece of our Whisper White seam binding. And you don't need a very big piece, just, you know, maybe about like that. That's probably, 2 inches, 2.5 inches. Okay, and then you're just gonna fold it like that, find your middle, okay, which we know is right there because I just made a crease, and I'm gonna add just the tiniest bit of adhesive right there. Okay, so you're just gonna fold it over right like that, and don't worry, I'm gonna fix those edges. Okay, and then you're gonna flip it over. You're gonna add some adhesive to this side of the ribbon, and this might be better done with either a stapler or some liquid glue, but for the sake of this video, this is how I'm doing it. So we're just gonna stick this right on the back towards the center, right like that, and then we're gonna fix our edges and then slip it into our card, and there you go. That is called the tri-fold pocket card. Thank you all for watching. I do appreciate it. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, have a wonderful day, and we'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.